This is not a travel vlog. This is a film about community.
So living here is difficult.
$47 for a cheesecake.
All the people who were part of Bitcoin Jungle, we were all pulled here.
Todo lo que está aquí sembrado es mis manos.
I didn't choose to live where I was. I was born in Montreal, I was raised in Montreal. I really felt like I didn't belong. I could only foresee escalation coming. So I just got the hell out.
I spent a week in Costa Rica with 4 individuals who have preserved, pulled, and pushed together to see if the project that they're creating could change the future of the country as we know it. This is Francis. Francis, like many others, had some questions about his government in 2020. And the government, well, wasn't having it.
So I closed down my office just before COVID happened. And then we basically pretty much immediately decided that this was a hoax, like a scam, that the stats were being massively overblown and that the ultimate angle was to increase government authority. But what really kind of like shocked me was the reaction of my friends, of my neighbors, of my community. I wanted to make a more conscious decision to be surrounded by people that share the same values. So my high school friends, for example, and my normie legacy friends, I would say, did not share the values at all that I had. And I was getting very angry at the government and other people. So I just took a one-way ticket to Costa Rica, specifically because there's a culture that is very anarchy-oriented, yogis, surfers, a lot of people who like to live off of the grid. They're sovereign individuals, they have their own farms, homesteading, and I come here and I witness the Bitcoin Jungle effort. It's like very grassroots, very disorganized. It's just a very amorphous, spontaneous thing that happened, and I love that. So I decided to get involved in Bitcoin Jungle.
And we decided, to form Bitcoin Jungle, modeled after Bitcoin Beach in El Salvador. The next step was, okay, who's going to accept Bitcoin? Well, the farmers markets, of course. They have the highest friction of payments. And kind of the psychology of it seemed to be like, okay, well, this gringo's here and he's giving me money for whatever this Bitcoin thing is. Why wouldn't I want the Bitcoin? He clearly wants the Bitcoin. Why wouldn't I want it?
It smells good. It smells great.
It's a ginger shot. Our next one is my star, right?
That wakes you up. Chocolate coconut butter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's nice. It's good to have Bitcoin with us.
Yeah, there we go.
They also have Bitcoin as well. So we are here, moving in that direction.
Basically, we have a vendors group, right?
Yeah.
So Keina put it in the group. He added the link to Bitcoin Jungle, I think, or something, and I just installed it right there and then.
Yeah.
And then next area we had it.
So weeks 3 to 8, I'd say, I had to spend all day, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the farmer's market answering whatever questions they had about Bitcoin. And it was really amazing. Like all of a sudden we have a community of people that understand Bitcoin and want to be holders of Bitcoin.
One of the earliest participants in the Bitcoin Jungle project is a woman by the name of Estella. If you can't tell already, she doesn't look like the type of person you picture when you think about Bitcoin. But what I found out about her next may have been even more surprising.
We are at the beach in Dominicalito on our way to Estella's house.
Esto es un trabajo necesario para todo.
So everything is a little disorganized because she's still rebuilding after what happened. But everything here she built all on her own, bit by bit.
¿Ya? Todo poquitos. Esto necesito limpieza. Estoy haciendo nuevos baños. Así es para la huerta, mira.
So her little garden she's been planting.
Todo esto es para sembrar, ya para hacer lo que es todo lo que es comida.
When she got here all these years ago, this was just covered in water. So you couldn't grow anything, you couldn't plant anything. So that's why she had to dig these drainage ditches to make the land usable for living and agriculture.
Ordeno toda la basura, igual que allá. Después aterro, es como ir levantando. Esta propiedad tiene mucha historia. Dice bienes raíces que en Costa Rica no hay una igual que esta. Solamente imagínense, con esta vista al mar, con este frente a la carretera. Yo ya tuviera un montón de personas aquí, pero yo no quiero. Tiene que ser gente como como lo que yo quiera.
The government must love you.
¡Oh! Me han mandado más de 5 veces a la cárcel y no pueden hacer nada porque ¿cuál delito? Y contamos de una por una planta y los días que yo tengo de vivir aquí y es mi trabajo, ¿cuánto vale? Estoy viendo algo muy diferente a la realidad de los ticos. Son los extranjeros que quieren venir a tener hijos en Costa Rica.
I feel like a lot of people, they don't want to have kids because they think like the world sucks. It just doesn't seem like a great world to bring kids in. Whereas here, it's like everything is so amazing that you almost like want to share this crazy experience of a community with other people. Costa Rica is also like a fertile place. It's kind of weird, but you throw a piece of fruit out the window on the highway and 3 years later you have a full fruit tree that's growing. Does that make women more fertile? I don't know, but people do think there is some energy in the land, which literally makes people more fertile. Also in Costa Rica, people love kids. Living in a very holistic way, on the beach, kids are homeschooled, and it just looks fun. It's also very safe for kids.
But in such a boundless culture, how does one actually ensure that children get a full education? Well, that's where people like Richard come in.
This area as well is I think it's very special and unique. It's so common to meet people now go, I just came to Costa Rica and I don't know why. And Costa Rica will tell you why. This is what you've been destined to do. I mean, I didn't come to Costa Rica to open a school, no way. That was the last thing on my mind. But like, once we started doing the school, everything started to make sense.
Richard runs a school with over 40 part-time students, and in addition to being one of the co-founders of Bitcoin Jungle, he also has a very interesting contribution of his own.
So you teach them stuff about like finance and Bitcoin too. That's a big departure from public school, right?
Yeah, so our students, we've done 3 dedicated Bitcoin classes where we do 10 weeks of Bitcoin, and so I'll teach that class. So there's a few students that know a lot about Bitcoin. Let's go find out how much they know. Okay, who invented Bitcoin?
Satoshi Nakamoto.
And when did he release the white paper for Bitcoin? What day? Spooky day.
Oh, it was 31st of October.
Do you know how many Bitcoins there are?
21 million.
21 million. And who makes the money in the system we have now? Who makes that money?
The government.
The government. And how do
The
they
printing machine.
The printing machine, yeah. We were called to be in Costa Rica, right? I mean, you come here and then we want to provide our skills, and everybody has these amazing skills, all different variations of skills, and they come here and they can start to piece that together as a community. So when I had the idea to do Bitcoin Jungle, it really was about solving the friction of money for expatriates, because there's a lot of expatriates here and they bring in a lot of money. You know, when we built this place, getting money into here is really difficult. So SimPay, it's for locals to do microtransactions, not microtransactions, mini transactions. Now what happens is that's not available for us. Even though I have a Costa Rican business, I have a Costa Rican bank account, I still don't have access to the SimPay system. I can't connect my telephone number to my bank account and do SimPay. But now with Bitcoin Jungle, I can pay SimPay because basically I just go onto the Bitcoin Jungle app, I then send the money and it gets done. So it opened up a whole world of like financial payments that wasn't available to foreigners.
As soon as you arrive, you have been forcibly removed from consumerism culture. So if you're American, if you're Canadian, that's probably the only thing you've ever known, more than likely. And it is immediately clear that life is different here.
Yeah, Lee wasn't joking.
All right, I'm outside a supermarket here in Costa Rica, and I'm gonna show you how expensive some of the stuff can get here. So these Eggo waffles are about $11 Canadian, $14 for a frozen pizza, Lay's for $7. This Gouda cheese right here goes for about $19 Canadian. Not that big. Are you in the mood for some FUD? That'll be $8. And even something as simple as a bag of pasta will run you about $6.50 Canadian.
The local police are actually like a nationalized police force. They're called the Fuerza Pública. They really don't have a lot of power, and they definitely don't have the resources to do much around here. So they accept that a certain level of vigilantism exists.
Having my mom protecting this beach is huge because she's pretty much the only one that really cares and is watching like the pandas, the boats. She's always fighting with the boats because if they start coming in, all these trees will die. That's why you don't see that here because anyone that comes here, she shows up with a machete.
Yo fui como 3 veces a la frontera con Panamá y en eso, en el bus que venían estos venezolanos, unos de tantos, menores de edad, con mucha hambre, mal vestidos. Le digo que si quieren ir a vivir a mi casa, que es muy sencilla, pero que por lo menos hay comida y hay techo y está frente a la playa para que se vayan y se desintoxiquen un poco. Gasté bastante dinero comprándoles comida porque venían con mucha hambre. Comieron, parecían salvajes comiendo porque tenían tanta hambre. Bueno, veo que están en la playa más de las 11 de la noche ahí fumando y eso ya no me gustó. Lo traje a trabajar aquí. Mi hijo dice que no sirven para trabajar. Todo lo que había gastado y todavía vienen a cobrarme, yo no les iba a pagar. Pero me dice mi hijo, mamá, págueles, que se vayan. Cuando en la tarde yo veo a mis hijos que se van rapidísimo para abajo y no puedo entender nada ni saber a dónde estaban ni qué estaba pasando. Cuando ya después que pasaron las cosas, hasta otro día, ellos me dijeron. Aquí fue donde me quemaron la casa y allá. Aquí estaba como lo que era el cuarto y todas las herramientas. Era tanta la furia del fuego, era tanta que la lavadora, la refri, todo. Mira, las ollas de hierro quedaban totalmente hechas así como Me sentí súper mal. Cuando ya me sentía preparada, como a los 3 días, me fui muy temprano. Como los grandes llegué. Y empecé a decir, Señor, dame fuerza, voy a limpiar esto bien. Y entonces lo hice como un deporte. Me puse a quemar lo que estaba quemado, lo que estaba más o menos bueno lo lavaba. Era como una terapia que me estaba dando. La cosa es que lo hice como un juego y eso me ayudó. Entonces viene la comunidad de Beacon y me dicen, van a venir ayudas para usted. Yo no puedo entender tampoco, pero ya después empieza todos los días, que 100, que 200, que 300, que 100, que 50, que 1000, que... Y se me fue haciendo grande la cuenta.
Esto fue con las donaciones.
Sí, hay madera buenísima. Esto es para hacer un galerón de 10 por 20.
That's pretty big.
Porque es para reuniones de Lincoln. El alcalde me dio un documento que yo podía hacer lo que quisiera aquí ya, que era el pago por mi trabajo. Y sería lo mejor que pasaría que esa propiedad la administre Lincoln. Soy muy simple, muy natural. Tengo como un sexto sentido, el cual es el que me hace como entender lo que me conviene. Y entendí que Bitcoin era algo muy interesante y a medida que lo empecé a usar, puedo dar testimonio de lo bueno que ha sido, lo importante y lo necesario. No he podido creer en otra cosa parecida.
My dad owns a falafel place who sells Mediterranean food. His restaurant accepts Bitcoin. The place has really changed a lot. There's a lot more like tourism and like more and more shops kept opening and everything just kept developing more and more.
We are on a mission to destroy central banking. We're on a mission to defund the state. We're on a mission to liberate people. I am not concerned with appealing to the middle person with, number go up or ETF. I'm really trying to destroy central banks and end fiat currency. So I'm keeping this message extremely pure and to see who it resonates with. And those people that listen to my message, they come out of the woodwork and they contact me all the time. A lot of people think I must be alone, you know, whether it's about resistance to global tyranny or belief about Bitcoin or belief about pharma or belief about civilizational decline. A lot of people feel like there's very few of us, but I'm a public person. I broadcast this message and I'm contacted all the time by people who say, hey, thank you for speaking like this. I thought I was alone. I must be crazy to believe all these things. Like, I'm telling you no. And what I've also noticed is that people who resonate with the pure Bitcoin vision of self-sovereignty and self-ownership are also very talented, intelligent, and good people. Other Bitcoiners, you never ask them, like, what university did you go to? Or, like, what job did you have before Bitcoin or anything like that? What matters in Bitcoin is what have you built?
Bitcoin! More Bitcoin!
We're here because we want to build the life that we want to live, and we think this is the place to do it.
One thing I noticed on my time in Costa Rica was a certain phrase plastered everywhere, Pura Vida. As a literal translation, it means pure life. But to every person I spoke with, it meant something a little different.
Pura Vida to me just means taking a step back and looking at everything around you and just embracing it all and letting it all happen.
Kind of like que sera, sera, like what will be, will be. You just live your life and the pieces will come together.
I think it's just a way of life that, you know, like things get sorted out in the way that they should be rather than forcing them, which I really like. It's kind of my vibe.
Live life, like the best life.
Appreciating the little simplicities of life.
Costa Rica es increíble ante los ojos de Dios y ante el mundo.
Hey there, hope you enjoyed my video on Bitcoin Jungle. This video was made possible in more ways than one by Bull Bitcoin. Bull Bitcoin is pioneering real Bitcoin usability through tools like SynPay, allowing expats and locals alike to use Bitcoin at nearly any business in Costa Rica. If you ever find yourself there for the sunny beaches or the lush jungles, anywhere you see a SynPay sign, you can pay with Bitcoin simply by downloading the Bitcoin Jungle wallet and loading it up with sats. A big thank you to Estella, Francis, Lee, and Richard for letting me take a look in your lives in such a uniquely interesting and beautiful community. And finally, a big thanks to you, the viewer, for supporting my films for so many years on all things Bitcoin and finance. I have some really cool stuff coming right around the corner to this channel, so if you haven't already, click that subscribe button, hit the bell for more notifications, and stay on the lookout for videos just like this. Cheers and Pura Vida.